Welcome everyone to the Koochiching County Board of Commissioners regular meeting for Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. Would you please help welcome with pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks everyone. First item of business under county business is to approve the proposed agenda with additions and/or deletions. We have one addition. It is regarding a grant amendment for the Northland Counseling roofing project, and that will be added as item A10. Other than that, are there any other additions or deletions? No. Right, hearing none, Chair would accept a motion. With the addition. Thank you, Commissioner Howell.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Discussion on the agenda. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next item is to approve the minutes from the December 9th, 2025 regular meeting.
I'd make that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Howell. Discussion on the minutes. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Next up is financial business. Our chair today will accept items A, B, and C. A being approved courthouse claims, B approved highway claims, and C approved public health and human services claims.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Discussion on the claims. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Next up is approved warrant void. I believe it was in the amount of $49.90. Affidavit is on file. Thank you, Commissioner Erickson.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Discussion of the void. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next item is authorize the administration assistant to approve 2025 year-end payment claims. And these will be ratified at the January 6th, is it? Board meeting. So this is just going to take care of the claims from today to the end of the year, and then we'll ratify them and certify them on first meeting next year. And thank you, Commissioner Erickson.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Discussion on the year-end payment claims. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Next item is adopt 2026 county tax levy and county budget. I will turn it over to Administration Director at COE and kind of go over what we have discussed and where we are at.
Sure. Well, as we talked about, the budget process started in May, and we've met frequently since then to review all line item budget requests. As submitted, the budget started with a 15.99 levy to balance the budget. Work was done to set the preliminary levy at the end of September at 8.99%, and then work continued from there to where we're at today of a proposed 6% levy. That would result in the levy being $8,118,548. with $2,492,356 going to general revenue, $2,203,185 going to health and human services, $1,522,558 going to highway, $260,449 going to environmental services, $690,000 going to the 2022 jail bond debt, and $950,000 going to the 2024 jail bond debt payment. The proposed budget includes revenues in the amount of $39,566,559 and expenditures of $39,723,971 with a reserve use of $157,412. Further, that the 2026 budget remains open and subject to adjustments at any time to respond to funding cuts or other changes as a result of actions at the federal and state legislative level.
All right, thank you, Administrator Coe. Chair would accept a motion, consideration of a 6% increase from the 2025 levy as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Discussion? Just some of the, could you go over, Adam, a little bit of the, I think Public Health and Human Services was in need of some funding as they've been deficit spending the last, 2 years, to the tune of around $600,000 over those 2 years.
Roughly, yeah.
And that was not going to be sustainable, I think. And I think just for the public's information, I think that we needed to kind of boost up their general revenue account over at Public Health there, because they're kind of getting down to the necessity area of being able to cover that.
Yeah, exactly. It was exactly that. The last couple of years, they were running over $300,000 budgeted deficit, and they reserve spent, and that is not sustainable. So I know they did a lot of work to make adjustments where they could, but the reimbursements from the state and federal level are not keeping up with the cost to provide those services. So most of the levy, most of the 6% is going to Health and Human Services this year to help balance that out and sustain those services.
Great, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. All right. Next up is adopt resolution approving interfund loans. This is regarding the Island View sewer project. We have to do this annually in order to adopt this and be able to expend the funds to keep up with the note.
Correct. So the county has an interfund loan policy. Again, we do this every year. So general revenue is covering the shortfall for both Jackfish sewer project and the Island View sewer project. And this just balances out, so we do some journal entries to account for that, with the goal that these interfund loans will be paid back over the life of the debt. So Jackfish, we're hopeful that that'll be paid off here next year, as the debt payment's done on that, so general revenue will be made whole. And then throughout the life of the Island View sewer debt, the goal is that general revenue will be made whole on that as well.
And there's just a few overages on the Island View sewer project when it was done, and the public was, aware of a certain amount that was proposed when the project started, and they wanted to the county at that time wanted to keep that proposed cost at that $100 a month area. So that was kind of why we're doing this year. There was a little bit of it. I think it was about 1.7. I said I think the county picked up about 500,000 of the 2.2, and then the 1.7 was left over, and that's kind of the overage of the project, which in comparison to the project was probably under 10% of the total project cost on that project in particular. So somewhat normal for projects, obviously not anticipated at the beginning of the project, but I think there were some change orders that were necessary. So that's some of the background on that. And if Matt were here, he could explain it better, but I think that's kind of where we're at with it. But this is an annual event as well to continually be in compliance. So. Wishes of the Lord.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Discussion. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And the motion carries. The next item is consider approval of draft LEC lease. This has been an ongoing discussion. I'll give you the key points of this lease here. We've had several discussions on the committee of the holes. The key terms are lease amount is $50,000 a year for 20 years. The county will be responsible to maintain building to ensure systems and infrastructure are in working order. Next is refurbish current space with a 50-50 split of the costs, and those costs, the only question I have is just for mention is the cost was approximately around $160,000 to do that, and there would be a 50-50 split of that. Freeze the lease cost of $50,000 a year for 2 years, and then it'd be an annual increase every year thereafter tied to a consumer price index. This would include exclusive use of the first floor of LEC, 3 garage bays, and a shared space in the basement. Also, there'll be designated 6 parking spaces along the south side of the LEC, along with IFPD signage on the outside of the LEC at the city's expense. And then the first right of refusal included in the lease, and only good as long as the lease is active, should the county ever want to sell the building, and that would be to the city. Lease would include housekeeping, maintenance, garage, garbage, electricity, natural gas, water, and sewer. This does exclude phone, internet, and information technology support. So they would be, and had requested that on their own, is to keep that under their roof and with their equipment and things. So. And I think this the lease that we had before us at the committee of the whole was updated. Attorney Nagloski updated the terms. There's a few items in there that were updated. I think the API and some of the use of it, and then actually what was covered in the lease was kind of updated as well. I don't know that matched what we had discussed before. I think it does now.
Yes.
Does that sound right, Commissioner?
Yes, it does.
Right, and I did attend a city council meeting last night, and I was asked if this was on our agenda for discussion, and it was as of today, but obviously it needs to be considered for approval first. So I didn't give any information last night other than we're hopefully would approve it today, or look at it today to approve it. So anyway,
Has the city looked at it, or not until it's approved here?
they're aware of the terms here. It's going to be very specific moving forward. Now this will be a very specific agreement with these key terms of what was discussed initially and originally, and then obviously they'll have room for negotiation or discussion amongst themselves as well if they accept or want to modify or something, and then we would have to reconsider. Based on what they want to do or what they like to see. So that's what I would anticipate is, they would get this and we can present it to them maybe at their, whenever they like in the next, council meeting or whenever they like to have it presented. I think we'll take a team over there and present it to them and see if they have any questions that we can answer on site, and if not, then we can kind of let them discuss what they what they need to do here, so, or what they want to do.
That's your recommendation, you too?
Yep.
Yep, recommended action would be approve the law enforcement center draft lease in terms as presented for the International Falls Police Department, further to approve sending it to the city of International Falls for their review. So, and if they have it on their agenda, like I say, I would anticipate that a few of us could go over there and speak to it if you need to. So, that would be the recommended action.
I'll make the motion.
Thank thank you, Commissioner Hill. Thank you, Commissioner Erickson. Discussion. All good? All right. Well, thanks to the attorney and Adam and the team for working on this, Joan as well, and just kind of putting this all together, and the patience as well to kind of get it done. So I know it takes time. We want to get it right, and I think it looks pretty good. So, any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Next item, we have next few items. We have some personnel items. Is consider approval of the county drug and alcohol policy. We had this discussion, and Brian, if you want to come on up. If you want to help speak to this. Approval of the county drug and alcohol policy.
Good morning, Commissioners.
I can speak to it too if you want me to.
So yeah, we brought these 3 policies to Personnel Committee. It was asked that we provide drug and alcohol policy, just a generalized one, so that employees know that they can't obviously come under the influence. They can't sell. They can't have it on county property, basically. So it's just it's a draft of an overview of our policy that we don't tolerate drug and alcohol use or selling or possession on county policy. It's pretty simple, basic.
Well, this is short enough. I may read it, and I know there was some discussion amongst directors on how to go in the direction to go with this here. But it says the policy applies to all Koochiching County employees. This policy does not provide for drug or alcohol testing of employees. However, certain employees may be subject to testing under Federal Department of Transportation regulations that falls under some licensures and special licensures. No employee shall use, sell, solicit, possess, or transfer illegal drugs or alcohol while working or while on any employer premises, including parking lots or employer work sites, wherever located. No employee shall report to or be at work under the influence of alcohol under the influence of illegal drugs or alcohol, wherever such work is performed, including off employer property. No employee shall operate any employer vehicle, machinery, equipment, or property at any time or any private vehicle while used in furtherance of the employer's business, while using or under the influence of illegal drugs or alcohol. No employee shall use, possess, sell, transfer, or be impaired by cannabis, flower, cannabis products, or potency, hemp edibles, or hemp-derived consumer products while working, while on the employer's premises, or while operating any employer or vehicle, machinery, or equipment. Any employee who violates this policy will be subject to disciplinary action, up to and including discharge per county policy and collective bargaining agreements. A lot of words that really precise and concise, so it's hard to spit all those words out at the same time. But I think this clearly states that we want a safe workplace for staff and employees, employers.
I'll move.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Erickson. Thank you, Commissioner Hall. Discussion.
We never had a policy before, did we? No. Good that we get one in place.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're still working on base policies in our, infancy of having HR, with the county. So HR's only been in place here for 6 years, I think. So just trying to get some base policies in place, and we reviewed these in our personnel committee and recommended to bring the board for approval. We'll also notify unions and staff, of course, once they're passed, for any comment or questions that they might have. So,
And it can be modified in the future if needed, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up is consider approval of county meal and rest break policy.
So the state changed or amended their law around meal breaks and rest breaks. And so we didn't have a policy on the original rules, but we figured that it would be good to have a county policy and provide education and awareness to directors and staff on the rules around rest and meal breaks. We have one or two contracts that speak to meal breaks and a few that don't. So this is in line with those that do speak to it. Pretty straightforward, but puts it in writing and that way it's a clear expectation for everybody to follow.
All right, wishes of the board.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
Support. Go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner Erickson, this time. Discussion. I guess, and this would be more like a framework of what would be expected, I think, but not, it's more of a...
We basically do follow this. It's just because the state put a statute in place that we have to follow because there is, compensatory, things that happen if they do not take their break. So that was basically the change in the statute. So.
Excellent. Thank you, Brian. Any other discussion? Here now, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. And the next one is a dandy.
This is kind of a longer one because as of January 1st, Minnesota paid leave takes in effect. So this kind of goes over a broad, we based it off of the other counties' draft and made it our own. Basically, that we pay half the premium, so it's half the employees pay half the premium. It speaks to, the procedure in which they have to go through. We are going through independent third-party provider that has done this with many states across the country. Basically, they're allowed, up to 26 weeks of paid vacation.
20
Or 20, excuse me.
of paid leave.
Of paid leave, yep. There's personal and then there's family as well. So like a nursing mother could get, their 12 weeks of medical and their 8 weeks for bonding time. That's kind of how that would work. That would be that would probably be the scenario that would come up the most, essentially. So it goes over that, the purposes, and it defines the members, who can be a qualifying individual underneath the Minnesota paid leave. Talks about qualifying events. It can be used intermittently and then also consecutively as well. Talks about notice of leave and proposed intent to be done within a certain amount of time, or within a reasonable amount of time if they can't give prior notices. Usage caps, intermittent leave can be taken on this policy, capped at maximum 480 hours in a 12-month period. This is rolling forward from the first of the leave. And applying for it, they have to apply for it through HR and also through the our third-party provider, MetLife, and goes through that. They have to provide their information and get approved through their provider or their professional service member, depending on the event. Benefit amounts based on wage. Those who make less get more of their percent. Those that make more get a lesser percent of their wage. And if they need to change their status, they have to give a write-in in no less than 14 days as practical prior to the expiration of the original approved leave time. Supplementing benefits with accrued paid leave. County employees permits benefits to top off their Minnesota paid leave because it is a percentage that they get, so they can top off using their accrued time. Employee can use their vacation, sick, compensatory, or disability insurance payments in lieu of Minnesota paid program benefits, provided the employee is currently eligible. And employees' use of the paid leave may also qualify for leave under federal, state, and local laws and or county policy or collective bargaining agreement. In these cases, all applicable leaves will be designated concurrently to the greatest extent permitted by law. Employees may not stack leaves or take leaves consecutively in order to extend their time away from work. The county will continue to provide group insurance coverages, including health insurance for employees on Minnesota paid leave under the same conditions as if the employee was not on leave, including provisions of the county's group insurance benefit premium contribution amounts. The employee is required to continue to make timely payments of their share of the premiums of coverage. If the employee is not accrued county leave time to supplement during the leave, it's the responsibility of the employee to remit their portion of premiums to the county's payroll department in order to ensure continuation of benefit coverages. An employee's share of premium payments for group insurance coverage may, at the employee's option, be taken as regular payroll deductions if the employee elects to supplement their Minnesota paid leave benefits with sufficient amounts of accrued and unused available county paid leave, prepaid at or before the start of leave, or arrange to submit a check for payment every month. And upon return from Minnesota paid leave, the employee will be reinstated to their previous position, or to an equivalent position with the same status, pay, employment benefits, links of service credits, and seniority credit as of the date of leave, as long as the employee has been employed by the county for a minimum of 90 calendar days, or per the collective bargaining agreements. If applicable, an employee is reinstated upon return from Minnesota paid leave may also be entitled to any unconditional pay increases which occurred during the leave pay, such as cost of living increase or general adjustments, and other pay benefits and terms will be reinstated in accordance with Minnesota statutes, applicable county policy, or collective bargaining agreement. Koochiching County strictly prohibits any form of illegal discrimination or retaliation against any employee for exercising their rights under the Minnesota paid leave program. Any employee who believes they have been discriminated or retaliated against for Minnesota paid leave related activities should immediately report the issues to Human Resources Department. So this falls in line with the statutes that are taking place. It is very lengthy, but yeah, we sent out the acknowledgement forms to the employees, and we've had success in people understanding that and how to go through the processes. If they have questions on anything in regards to this new policy and this new program, we are encouraging them to see me or Adam or Janelle, and we are more than happy to help in any way possible. It is a very lengthy and been a very long thing across the state for all the employers that are having to deal with this. So, but am I missing anything, Adam? Anything that you want to add to it?
Nope.
All right, wishes of the board.
I'll make a motion.
Support. Thank you, Commissioner Welch. Thank you, Commissioner Hall. Discussion. Is this just for long-term leave? Is that kind of the way it reads? Is this?
So you have to be gone for 7 days, I think. So it's kind of like FMLA, you have to have a medical or a family-related issue that's certified from your physician. And then that goes right to the third party, so we don't make that decision. They submit that to MetLife. In our case here, MetLife makes the determination if it qualifies or not. And then MetLife contacts us to make sure we have accurate, wage information and dates of employment, those types of things. And they make the full determination. The employee applies to them. They file with us too, but they apply to them, and then they get payment straight from them. So it's kind of like it's a benefit. So we're taking premium deductions and paying half of them ourselves, but all the decision making really happens at MetLife or those that work with the state at the state level. So
They do not have to use it if they don't want to.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Is it required that
No.
someone applies or uses this in lieu of or instead of?
No, they could use family medical leave instead of paid family medical leave.
If there's some accrued sick leave there or
They would have-
things like that, they
yep.
could use that in lieu of this here.
Correct, and make themselves whole. Yep, that is correct. They don't have to, but it is an option for them. So,
And then in using this, just one more thing, and in using this, so I'm clear that if this is used, then there is going to be some insurance premium payback for the time that this was used. Is that?
yes, if an employee has insurance premiums, they got to pay that.
They would have to pay
Pay their
portion of the
portion.
hours.
for the county,
Yep,
Okay.
to the county.
And that would be able to be supplemented through vacation or anything else, looks like.
we could take if they're supplementing their
Okay.
personal accrued time, then we could deduct from there. But if they're taking no pay from us,
Right.
then they have to pay.
Then they have to make
their-
an
their
annual
portion
payment.
of whether it's dental or family health or any other.
Supplemental ancillary benefits.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? Well, hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed? And motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Next up is our addition, is to amend the Northland Counseling Grant Agreement. And Administrator Cole can speak to it. I think there's, the state needs one more additional sentence in the resolution, it sounds like.
So last week at the board meeting, you guys adopted a resolution authorizing execution of documents for state grant for Northland Counseling Roofing Project. I submitted that certified resolution to the state, and they came back and said they needed additional language. So in your packet, I highlighted it there under 1.06. The original language was the borrower has agreed to contribute all funds in addition to the 2025 general obligation grant are necessary to complete and operate the project, including the 2025 project. They wanted to add be it further resolved, county has the financial capability to provide any required matching funds, and that the source of the county's matching funds shall be Fund 83, Northland Counseling, and will not include other state funding sources. So, in their our grant application on behalf of Northland transferred $10,800 to the county as matching funds, in addition to the grant funds. And so we hold that in Fund 83, and they just wanted to call that out in the resolution. So once that's completed, or when we amend this, then I'll send it to the state, and then we'll continue to work on executing those other documents.
One question, just for clarification, we have no matching fund requirement with this.
The county does not, no, so our amendments and use agreements and ground lease agreements all talk about how, any overages on the project, that Northland's responsible for those additional funds to complete the project.
Wishes of the board.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Discussion. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Next up, Health and Human Services. Come on up, Eric. Good morning. We have some renewals, quite a few renewals, but we'll start with a warrant void.
Yep, warrant void in the amount of $26. It was for the auditor treasurer, or the recorder's office for birth certificate. Did not need to use that on the client's flex funds. So just needed to void that one out.
All right, wishes of the board. Thank you, Commissioner Erickson.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Howell. Discussion on the void? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. And next up, we'll go through, I think what we'll do here, Derek, is we'll go through the renewals of the AAUA agreements and then we'll motion on those.
Okay.
All together. And then we'll just go where we can, like say the ODC, same thing, and then the other ones we'll take separate.
Okay.
Sounds all right.
Sounds good. The first one we have with AEOA here is the volunteer driver program for medical assistance and social services eligible clientele. For the medical assistance rides, we have to have a company that we contract with to do volunteer driving services to out-of-home medical appointments and stuff, and then we can submit for reimbursement to that to the state. The social services rides, if we have somebody in placement, we have to be able to make sure that they have rides available to come back and visit families and things like that. So that's what this agreement is for. Lays it out that we pay them so much per mile.
Right, I think it's 50 cents over the whatever the IRS
Yeah.
loan rate is, and then it kind of mentions some meal money and overnight stay money.
Yeah, this is a long-standing contract we've had with them. They're the only provider that we have in the county. So some of this may be changing as of July 1 of this year as far as the medical transportation piece goes. As it sits right now, the state is supposed to be taking that on, setting up those transportation services, but we will see if that actually happens.
Would this be amended if that does happen?
What's that?
Would this be amended if that does happen, or would they just be going through the state to collect?
They'd be going through the state to collect.
Okay. Excellent. All right, and the next one is?
The next one is for the nutrition services, which is for the in accordance with the Older Americans Act. This is for the meals at sites like the senior center, and then there hasn't been any in the overlying parts of the county for a while, but now Little Fork has one that they have a restaurant back in Little Fork. So something that we have to do according to the Older Americans Act, and it costs us 87 cents per meal. So this is a contract we have with AEOA to provide those services, Meals on Wheels services to everything. So.
Very reasonable, thank you. And the last one for AEOA is the renewal of the ENT purchase of service.
Yep, this is employment and training services, and it's for the Minnesota Family Investment Program and the Divisionary Work Program. These are funding sources that we get from the state and the feds between the two of them, and we have to have two providers for this, so you'll see it'll be the same type of contract coming up with NemoJet, but we have to have two options for people, and that's for people that are on assistance and have families that are on assistance to help them with employment and training to get secure employment, to be able to participate in the MFIP program. So.
Great, thank you. We'll maybe stop and consider a motion for items 2, 3, and 4. Would be item 2 being request approval and approval of renewal of the AEOA volunteer driver purchase and service agreement, and item 3 request approval of renewal of AEOA congregant meal purchase service agreement, and request approval of the renewal of AEOA ENT purchase of service agreements.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Thank you, Commissioner Hall. Discussion on those 3. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. All right, now we're going to do Nemo Jet.
NemoJet, that is the same one as the contract we just went over. Like I said, we have to have 2 providers of that in the county. People have to have an option to select one or the other. So it's the same thing for the employment and training regarding the divisionary work program and the Minnesota Family Investment Program to meet the criteria to qualify for those. They have to work with one of these agencies in order to qualify for the benefits from those programs.
And then they get reimbursed based on
Yep,
their use.
based on the use, yes.
Wishes of the board. Thank you, Commissioner Erickson.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Discussion. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. And then we can do the couple of the ODC.
Yep, the first ODC one is for supported employment for our developmentally disabled individuals. We don't have a whole lot of people participating in this right now because when Service Master took over the cleaning for ODC, they hired a lot of those folks directly on at Service Master. We still have to have this in place. We don't spend a whole lot of money out of it at this point in time, but we have to have this in place just in case we do need it. So this is for extended employment and transportation to that employment. So
And then again, a not to exceed amount.
yep, a not to exceed amount, exactly, just with what we can do with our allocations and stuff. So.
Right.
And then the next one is the ODC day support services. That's for at the site, the ODC site, for the Developmental Achievement Center, and then transportation for those clients and those developmentally disabled clients to participate in those too.
So the support services to be able to put it all together.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and to be at the day treatment site there.
Okay. All right, wishes of the board on those two. We'll consider item 6 and item 7, a request approval of renewal of ODC supported employment agreement, and also request approval of renewal of ODC day support services agreement.
Make motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Erickson. Discussion. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. And now the Friends Against Abuse for the hotline.
Nope, the Friends Against Abuse is actually for supervised visitation.
Oh, excuse me.
Yep. That's for supervised visitation for
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
families and children with, if there's children placements, it's deemed by the court that it's most appropriate for them to have supervised visitation until things are taken care of at home and it's safe for the child to return.
Thank you, Commissioner Erickson. Thank you, Commissioner Hell. Discussion. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed? And motion carries. Now we're on to the phone.
Yep, now we're on the first call for help agreement we have to have for providing a confidential crisis line with a toll-free number. This also works to, they reach out to Northline Counseling's crisis team if necessary, and it's our portion of what we have to pay to have that service.
Is it a local service?
It's a statewide type of service, but they contact local resources.
So all counties support that first call.
Yep.
Is that like 811?
Yep.
Thank you, Commissioner Erickson.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Discussion. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. And then we have an LSS agreement.
Yep, this is for guardianship services. This is if we have, say, a vulnerable adult that we get an adult protection report on vulnerable adult. They don't have anybody that can be a guardian for them. The county can assume emergency guardianship, but that can only be for 60 days. We have to appoint a permanent guardian after that, and we contract with LSS to provide that service for us. They have trained guardians for that.
And
So.
that's for longer time and longer
Yep.
term commitments?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Wishes of the board?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Discussion. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. And last item?
Last item is a burial. And I have the amount here. I was gonna find it.
It's $793.36.
Yep, that is for one of our county residents that passed away that qualified for, through our burial policy.
The wishes of the board.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Discussion on the burial? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries.
Thank you. I need a bunch of signatures, but for the sake of time, I will just hang out till the end and then we can do that at the end if that's okay.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is approved designation of depositories of county monies.
On my desk.
Morning.
Morning.
This is just the annual required designation for all of the county approved depositories for all county funds. Nothing has changed from last year other than the name change. Bremer Bank has converted to Old National with their investment division being named 1834, a division of Old National.
And the Magic Fund and True Star Water Bank are still the...
Everything is the same as prior year. No recommended changes.
wishes of the board. Thank you, Commissioner Erickson. Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Discussion on the depositories. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we'll take a brief couple minutes here and let the...
All right,
Good morning.
a couple grants, some that I think you want them approved separately.
Yeah, I think so.
No matching dollars from the county. ATV grants a little over 30,000, and the ATV is just a little over 8,000. These are annual grants I do every year and supplement our patrol.
And would you like these separate?
Oh, we should, yeah, so we have record, because I think we sent them in separately, don't we?
Correct, yes.
And they're both 50-50 matching?
No,
It's annual. Is this for? It's a 2-year grant.
Oh, that's what I meant, it's a 2-year grant.
yeah, 2-year grant, yeah.
Okay. So the first one is we'll have for consideration is ATV grant is $15,287.73 for each year for a total of $30,575.46. We can take these in separate motions, and I would consider a motion to accept.
Yeah, make motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hunt.
I'll support.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Discussion on the ATV grant. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up on the Sunbelt grant is $4,050 for each year for a total of $8,100. And Chair would accept the motion to accept that.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hunt.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Erickson. Discussion on the Snowmobile grant. And then I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Morning, Wade. Morning, Matt.
Morning.
How's it going?
Good.
And the first item is looking for authorization for a tow-behind weed sprayer.
Yeah, so the highway department talked about these weed sprayers to help control noxious weeds. They spray for noxious and invasive weeds along the county roads annually, which includes many locations in shoreline areas. As you're aware, the county and other landowners are required to provide a riparian vegetative buffer and water quality practices that protect the state water resources from erosion and runoff. The weed sprayer, I have an attached quote. It's a tow-behind weed sprayer. The highway department would help us in the effort to better control the spread of noxious and invasive weeds along our roads and shoreline buffer areas and help prevent the spread into private buffer areas. I think this is one of the discussions that have gone on related to buffer areas and noxious and invasive weeds, and we're requiring private landowners to provide these buffers, but we don't, or we need help to try to better control some of this noxious and invasive weed spread, and so to try to do our part, we do. I mean, the county does do spraying, but this piece of equipment would probably help them in their efforts, and so. It'll also be, the equipment's also available for other departments if needed, and so I would recommend the purchase through our buffer funding. It's aid that we receive every year in the amount of $27,039.58, and that's what I would recommend.
Wishes of the board.
Is that delivered to us, or is there still more for them to bring it up to us, or us to go pick it up?
I believe it was delivered.
That was delivered?
Yeah. I didn't ask Trent on it, but I believe it was.
What's the advantage over what the current setup?
I think that,
Capacity or?
yeah, it's just a lot better setup. Right now, they tie up a truck in the back of, they have one truck that they use for spraying. This tow behind can be towed by many trucks, and so it gives them more capacity, and if needed, it just can be used if the other truck is being used for something else. So it just allows them to be able to do it better and more efficiently, and potentially provide more coverage.
More coverage.
Yeah, as well, right.
Not potentially. Needs to provide more.
Yeah, right. Yep. And again, it comes out of our buffer funds that are restricted for the use of, or it's aid provided to help with buffer management. So, and we have quite a fund balance in that area. So it's my recommendation to utilize it for something that will benefit buffers, among other things.
I'd make the motion.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Erickson. Thank you, Commissioner Hall. Now, this has been a hot topic of discussion many times throughout the county. I think it's been brought up the last couple of years about the weeds, if not longer. So I think anything we can do to extend and expand that a little bit would be helpful. So I think this will help do that. I know it's been a concern from people that I've had several phone calls from. It's like, how can you make me do my field and the ditches are, but I know it's hard to keep up with. I know there's been some challenges over the last few years as well. So hopefully this will help out a little bit.
It still takes man hours. It still takes someone driving, with it and applying, applying it. And so, we only have so many people out there doing it, and they have other things they have to do. But this certainly will help, and it also frees up a vehicle as well, so and can be used by others.
Other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. grapple with
Yeah, so, the staff has been using the roll-off truck to pick up appliances, and when I say staff, I mean Wayne. But it's also could be any staff. But Wayne is the person that generally does this. Although we do have Sense to Serve, and the lead is Aaron, and he would do that as well. Going to canister sites, picking up heavy materials, whether it's appliances or other items. It could be just heavy items, could be material that someone dumped illegally. Maybe it's a load of an old freezer or various other things that people dump. And having one person lifting that, and typically that's the way we have it, is one person goes out and tries to clean up or goes to the canister sites. Just because of a limited amount of staff, you can only spare one person. So having this loader truck certainly would help in that regard and probably create a safer condition for lifting these heavy materials. And I don't know, Wayne, you can go ahead and expand upon it.
There's a multitude of responsibilities that fall under, my area that I think this would be helpful with. One, illegal dumping. We have situations like out Moonlight Rock and things like that where it wouldn't take me 2 or 3 guys to go out and clean it up. You'd just take the truck out and be able to clean it up with one person. Moving dumpsters to and from canister sites. We have over 35 dumpsters at our canister sites that require service and maintenance and repair and replacement. I have no way to move those right now. It requires 2 vehicles, 2 trailers, a Bobcat. I mean, it's a full-blown operation with 2 operators to move a dumpster right now. I could move them by myself with this truck. I'm not getting any younger, and these loads of appliances are, they're risky. I mean, there's serious potential of someone getting hurt, and I'm thinking about the next guy that's coming after me. He's not going to have an easier time at handling these heavy items. So I've looked for a lot of alternatives on how we handle this waste. Initially looked at those, like the firewood processing dump trailers with the little loader built onto them and stuff, but they're more expensive than the truck. And then I would have to come to you for a 1-ton truck to pull that trailer. So I think this is probably the cheapest option to be able to process this waste without having to handle everything by hand. So that's why I talked to Matt, and we're requesting today that, purchase of this truck not to exceed $50,000 with, pending a pre-purchase inspection. But from everything I've heard about the truck, there's little things that need to be fixed on it. It's not new. It's a pre-dep. It's a 2005. But from everything I've heard about the truck, the mechanicals on it are good. But it needs some small repairs and stuff, but we'll do that in-house.
Will you be able to throw a canister or some type of a tote on the back of this as you, like what's the size or
It has a 20-foot dump box on it.
Oh, okay.
The machines are primarily built for handling disaster relief, yard waste, brush cleanup, flood type related cleanups and stuff where people are putting all this debris against the curb and these trucks come along and clean that up. But I could see it working really good for the kind of work we do up here too. And, it's going to free up a little bit of manpower too, because I ain't got to snag somebody from the transfer station every time I need to go move stuff. And another thing is occasionally we get scrap metal at these canister sites that's too heavy to be hand loaded into a 20-yard container. So that might lay there for months before, like somebody from the highway department down in Big Falls happens to be coming down the road with their loader, they'll swing in and throw up the container for me, but it literally takes sometimes months for that stuff to sit there before someone can load it in a container. So I should be able to take care of that all by myself now.
Would there be any benefit to, and that's just a question, would there be any benefit to have a roll-off with this type of a grapple? So because I know Big Falls is going to change with the demo site kind of going away. Would there be any benefit to having a grapple that you can dump off a 25 or some foot box or whatever, I don't know what the size is that even's out there.
I have some containers that I purchased under that grant I wrote many years ago, that I actually ordered in case we ever took over the Mizpah canister site. So they're built to fit that Mizpah ramp that they have for the demo at Mizpah. So I have 3 containers available now when we do switch over Big Falls. But my thinking was this truck, you can either change out the containers with the roll-off, or you could back up next to it and you could bail it into this truck and then go.
Well, that was my question, I guess, because, you know, you might have to smush it down to get it in the truck to fit and things like that. Especially if we're going to be transporting it, you know, you might want to squish it covered or whatever.
Yeah, because those loads are usually a mess.
Loose.
They got stuff sticking every direction. No one.
Oh, okay. So you're already thinking that. So you're okay.
There's also the, you know, when you talk about demo and you talk about demo in Big Falls, if and when we close Big Falls and we go to a different system, you know, there's various ways that they do it in other locations where they dump it on a slab and then they come pick it up. So having a loader for that application, depending on how you'd end up doing it, will work. Another item that I thought of when Wayne was talking to me about this earlier was, you know, there are times that just on top of our demo site that loader might come in handy for various things. And then also, because right now sometimes we use a dozer and maybe we got to push it a long ways or whatever. There's some things that have to be pulled out. Sometimes we get big chunks of metal that are too heavy to lift out of there, and we need to get them out of there because they damage our dozer. And so right now we cut them up and do various things, but this may allow us to move it more quickly out of the way so that they can continue to operate and not be in the middle of the demo site dealing with that piece of heavy metal. And so there's a lot of different applications. Brush could be used for, you know, if we're trying to, you know, right now we burn our brush. If we needed to, you know, move some of the brush back on top of the pile, we could probably use that loader for that purpose once it's down, and then just kind of repile it so that it could be relit again. So better burn the brush sometimes. So various things. There's just a million different uses, and I'm sure some of you have used loaders and fully understand the multiple uses you could have.
Everybody but me.
Yeah.
Lucky guys.
One thing I will add is one of the reasons I specifically picked this truck is the loader that's in it is the same as the loader we use at our transfer station. Okay. And that loader was replaced once, and I still have the old one back in storage. So we've got a plethora of replacement parts. So the parts should interchange between the current loader we have, the parts loader we have in storage, and this truck. So that I specifically looked for one with a Peterson loader on it.
Does it take a different class license to drive?
No, Class B.
That's good.
Yeah. Same as the roll-off truck.
So it does require
It
commercial
requires
license,
a commercial, but yeah.
but it's
And only you have that?
At this time, but we're going to be,
we're working on getting
the highway has a trainer
licensed.
now, so.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm just that.
yeah, we're working
We're
with
gonna
Trent.
want to have backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. We're working on it.
Yeah.
That was on my mind for a long time. I've been talking to Wayne about that for a long time.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
I think that's it.
And this is reserve fund spend? This was in the budget?
Well, it's within the budget. I mean, I haven't spent on, you know, the outside scale and some other things that are in the
Also
current
switching
budget.
the intent of the
Correct,
funds.
yeah. Yeah.
Would that be this year's budget or next year's?
This year's, if we
This
can.
year's, okay.
Yeah.
Wishes of the board.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hall.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Rich. Discussion. Hearing no discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? And motion carries.
Thank you.
Excellent. Good
When
work.
Wayne's back, thanks you
Very
too.
much.
Thank you.
My knees, my back.
Thank you. All right, next up is to approve change order for Rainy Lake RV sewer contract, and this is a positive change order.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. Yes, so I have a couple different items that we can pass out. you know, the attachment, you guys typically want it in 8.5 by 11, but if you want to pass it around there, Adam, take one and just pass it on. It's the same information, but it's in bigger format, so you can see it if you wanted to look. Perfect. And this one's another one too. Just two sheets. Actually, you got an extra copy there.
Yeah, we got that.
And then the other one. Thank you. So if you look at I guess I'll just go through. This is the Rainy Lake RV sanitary sewer construction. It's complete as far as the construction part of it. I still have a couple of things that we're working out as far as the paperwork and various things. So I will be having another invoice from the engineer, but this is the last construction related item. So the change order is related to the construction. As shown in the attached documentation, the change order adjusts the overall construction contract amount to reflect the actual quantities versus the engineer's estimated quantities and original Wagner bid. The documentation shows the cost came under the construction bid by $20,000 or $20,045.14. And if you look at the change order sheet, it says CO1 in the upper right hand corner. It's the one that has a little bigger printing, which is a smaller version in your RBA, but you can see the items that are listed as compensating change order item, and then the original contract value and the revised contract value. So there are some items such as like 2 and 3. We didn't have a charge for items 2 and 3. There was some changes. If you look at the change order contract value, there were some items that came in a little higher and then others that came in lower. The big items would be the construction allowance and the electrical service allowance were the big items. And so that just gives you a sense of where these savings came from. So anyways, I guess it's my recommendation to approve the change order so that we can then properly reflect the final cost for construction.
Wishes of the board.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hall. Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Discussion.
Not very often it goes down instead of up.
Where does that money go?
So we have the grants and the match were total $375,000. We will have, after everything is said and done, about $27,000 remaining, which needs to be spent on sewer-related items. And so our plan is to then do some additional engineering to prepare for additional projects in the future. So the money is still being used for the purposes it was granted. But we're able to get a little bit more than just this construction. We're going to get a little bit more ready for the next potential project that might come. And I don't, $27,000 won't go very far, but it's it's nice to have that and help us prepare for the next thing we might do. So as an example, in our comprehensive plan, it included areas on County Road 96 that is not connected to sewer, which is south of the Rainy Lake Visitor Center, south and west of the Rainy Lake Visitor Center. We also have an area within Whispering Pines, which is north of Highway 11, kind of between the two ends of the South Jackfish Bay Road. So those are two areas where they were alternate areas within our original Island View sewer project, and we took them out because of cost. We didn't have enough money, but we're still preparing to try to provide sewer to those areas. And if the grant dollars become available, we will pursue them, but the engineering will go towards updating some plans. I got called by somebody just south of the Rainy Lake Visitor Center that was very interested in sewer and trying to help them out in that area, and that's not very far from the main line. But I'm not sure how much grant dollars will be available in the future, but all we can do is prepare and try to obtain it.
Yeah, I think we'll be discussing that at the VNP here, upcoming, when we find out what this total grant amount's gonna kind of land at, I think is from what I understood, so.
Yeah.
Some of the projects, it's funny, you get the funding to do all the preliminary engineering, and once you get to the end of the preliminary engineering, if you don't have the money to do the project, then there is really no use for them to have any more of the preliminary funding. So if they can't kind of stack all that funding together to get a job going, then it just kind of sits there like, we can maybe do these little pocket projects, kind of clean up off of the existing project, which I think there's a couple great spots there,
Right.
up there. So I think that
Right.
they fit into a affordable area, I think, too. And then, of course, obviously the consumer, the citizen's got to be on board with it as well.
Of course. And the key there is to make it affordable for the people that are being connected, right? And that's the goal when we did all of these projects. And getting the grant dollars is a great thing to help with that affordability issue. You need to make it make sense for people financially so that it's fair. And it's a great deal for the county because in these projects it's 75% grant funding and 25% match. And that makes a huge difference. So, and like Jason said, we don't know if there'll be enough grant dollars for some of these larger projects in St. Louis County. So they might say, well, we need to reallocate some of this funding for various things, and being ready by prepping a certain area will help. Another area that's of interest, and I know I've been had conversations with owners out on the islands and various issues related to their sewer needs. And although I don't think I would apply this funding towards that plan, I'd take the mainland first. But in the future, the islands are included in that comprehensive plan, and what is the right solution, I'm not sure. But we can look at different islands and try to see if there's a good choice for trying to solve those problems.
Absolutely. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And motion carries.
And the last request is to approve the Wagner Construction request, pay application number 4 in the amount of $39,709.30. This is their final pay application, and it includes the payment of the remaining items and retainage. And as mentioned in the previous request, the bid or the construction cost came under the bid amount by $20,045.14. So I recommend moving forward with this final pay app to Wagner.
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Hall. Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Good job, well done, Matt. That's a great project.
Yeah.
Really good project.
Thank you. I agree. These are projects that have great benefit to the area in various ways. I mean, it creates a better environment for our water resources. It's beneficial to the residents and all residents, no matter where we're putting that sewer at. And it does have financial implications for future. So it's a good thing. I mean, when you think about the amount of construction that occurs, most of the construction within our county occurs in those shoreland areas. And, you know, having this kind of infrastructure really helps them sustainably develop their parcels.
And this was specifically from that seed money program through the VNP, the Joint Powers Board,
Yeah.
Of our allocation for our county. So
Yeah.
that's, you know, that's the type of projects we can get done in the price range that we can afford to do them. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing. You know, the implication for the water, for what they're using it for however many EDUs there are, you know, it's just
Yeah.
it's a big deal. So.
Yeah, 43 equivalent dwelling units
43.
in this project that we're connecting, so. And they're paying their fair share too. That's another thing to understand is that they have to pay a connection fee. You know, we receive grant dollars, we invested the match, the 25% match, but there's a set connection fee that they have to pay as part of their you know, connection to the sewer system. And so just like on the Island View Sewer Project, everybody had a connection, or, you know, a fee that was paid. Also this project as well, they pay a connection fee just like everyone else, which contributes to the backbone costs. So like this is the Jackfish Bay, original Jackfish Bay area. And although that debt ends in this year, it's the end of that debt. So that now that connection will go into a long-term capital improvement fund and will be used potentially for future maintenance or long-term capital improvements that have to be done on the system. So or pay the debt. Yes, and pay the debts. The debts is number one first, and once the debts are paid, then that money goes into a long-term capital improvement fund. So each connection makes a difference, right? So.
Absolutely. Any other discussion? Right, hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? And motion carries.
All right.
Good
Thank
work.
you.
Thank you, man. All right, so at this time, I will open the floor for public comment. Anyone here or online for public comment?
They're unmuted,
They are unmuted, okay.
and they can unmute themselves.
All right. Anyone online for public comment? Great. Hearing no public comment, I'd like to thank everyone for a great year. I appreciate the opportunity to chair the meeting for this last year, and it's a privilege and an honor to do that. So I appreciate everybody's hard work, and have a great holidays. And with that, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Thank you, Commissioner Roach. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.